Please Delete is the story of a scandal at the University of Arkansas, actually a two-tiered scandal, because the university's leadership's handling of the first scandal brought on a much more costly, damaging, and embarrassing scandal that followed. The scandal actually started with a confession. A longtime budget officer with the university admitted that she had lost control of millions of dollars in funds handled by her division of the university. But it was made worse when the people she reported it to mismanaged it in a way that obstructed attempts by journalists, by prosecutors, and by legislators to get to the answers that they were seeking. Who was responsible? How did she let this mistake happen, and who else might have been involved in it? The book reveals the backstory from an insider's perspective. I was that insider. I was the chief media relations officer for the university when the scandal broke, and I had a ringside seat when my superiors were talking about the ways they were going to handle the situation. Later, I lost that ringside seat and was thrown into the ring itself, and I was expected and asked to testify before a legislative inquiry on matters relating to perjury, to document destruction, and violations of Arkansas's public records law. The story goes beyond higher ed, and it talks about the expectations the public has for transparency and accountability on the part of public officials. There are a lot of key players in here beyond university people. There are politicians, journalists, prosecutors, millionaires, billionaires, and certainly a lot of innocent victims. The title refers to a turning point in the scandal, a moment where the senior leader of the university, the chancellor, gave instructions that led others to start prefacing their emails and instructions with the words delete or please delete. It's a refrain throughout the second half of the book, and it underscores the main point of the story, that there were people responsible for the way the university failed to respond and failed to honor the laws, the spirit and letter of the laws of Arkansas. Hubris is arrogance on steroids, I think. Hubris is exhibited when a powerful and successful leader starts acting in ways that reflect a total belief in his or her own infallibility and a disdain for the advice and actions and recommendations that others provide them, even those who want to help them. It often has tragic consequences and leads to the downfall of that leader. And history, as you know, is filled with examples of that. Military leaders, political leaders, business leaders who have succumbed to their own belief that they are infallible and that their word, their opinion is the only one that matters. It was a story I think that needed to be told because the story was never completed. There was a lot of attention paid to the scandal in Arkansas over more than a year. And during that time, a lot of details came out. But there were a lot of details or a lot of loose ends that were not brought together. And what I've done during the process of writing this book is pull together those loose ends, making connections and coming to conclusions that others could have found if they had put the time and effort into it. I believe that it's a cautionary tale for a lot of people who are concerned about public performance of officials, and it showcases the importance of all leaders to be open to other perspectives, even those that they may not want to accept initially. I think the book will have a broad readership, certainly one that goes beyond the communities of higher education, journalism, politics. I think that people who have an interest in public accountability and want to understand the lessons that can be learned by this story of where leaders fail to follow through on their obligations to the taxpayers and tuition payers and donors who provide support for this institution. I think as a result of reading this, people will come away from it having a better understanding of the ethical decisions that leaders have to make and the choices they have to make. In this instance, the choices were not good ones.